What if I told you the biggest political scandal of the year wasn't happening in Congress, wasn't happening on a debate stage, but was happening between Erika Kirk, JD Vance, and Usha Vance inside a paternity lawsuit so wild it makes reality TV look like Sunday school? Because tonight, this story has everything. A sudden paternity lawsuit, alleged threats from Usha Vance, Erika Kirk making moves that scream plot twist, and JD Vance dodging questions like it's an Olympic sport. Buckle up. This is political celebrity gossip on maximum difficulty mode. And trust me, every second of this gets messier. The story begins. Erika Kirk goes nuclear. The story truly erupted the moment Erika Kirk marched into the legal arena and dropped a full-blown paternity lawsuit like a villain monologuing before the finale, turning a months-long rumor into a certified political earthquake. This wasn't emotional chaos. This was calculated chaos, the kind where Erika Kirk looked at the swirling JD Vance-Usha Vance scandal, grabbed the plot by the throat and said, "Enough whispering, let's make this official," forcing JD Vance out of his patriotic speech hiding spot and straight into a courtroom where he can't dodge behind America First talking points, and doing it with the energy of someone starring in her own primetime drama, shifting the entire narrative from online conspiracy to legal firestorm, instantly raising the stakes, raising eyebrows, and raising the temperature on a scandal that was already hotter than a presidential debate mic. One move, one filing, one nuclear button pressed, and suddenly the whole country was watching Erika Kirk like, oh, this just got real. The moment the lawsuit hit, JD Vance goes ghost. As soon as the lawsuit became public, guess what happened? JD Vance suddenly disappeared from the narrative like a magician doing a vanishing act. No comment, no denial, no, this is crazy, just a presidential candidate speed walking away from the mess like it wasn't chasing him. Online investigators started screaming, why is JD Vance not defending himself? Why is JD Vance avoiding the paternity question? Why does JD Vance look more nervous than a politician in a lie detector booth? And then, the story took the darkest turn yet. Erika Kirk says the silence isn't random, it's fear. According to the lawsuit, Erika Kirk claims Usha Vance, yes, the second lady herself, threatened Erika Kirk and allegedly tried to intimidate her into silence. That accusation alone sent the internet into a meltdown, because if Usha Vance did what Erika Kirk claims, then this whole situation isn't a scandal anymore. It's a political explosion waiting to go off. And the wildest part, Erika Kirk insists the threat wasn't subtle, not coded, not whispered behind the scenes. According to the lawsuit, it was direct, and it was enough to make Erika believe she needed the court's protection. But then, another question hit the internet like lightning. If the threat was real, why didn't JD Vance respond? The answer people came up with, it only made the story worse. The online investigators connect the dots. The second the lawsuit hit public view, the internet's amateur investigators activated like sleeper agents in a spy movie. Suddenly, people who never read instructions on microwaving popcorn were breaking down body language, decoding screenshots, and analyzing high-definition pixels like they were solving a national security breach. TikTok detectives slowed down old clips of Erika Kirk and JD Vance to 0.25 speed, narrating eyebrow twitches like they had forensic certification, while Reddit threads turned into crime boards covered in red arrows, neon circles, and captions like, "This means something." The hug resurfaced, the now iconic moment where Erika Kirk and JD Vance held each other like they were auditioning for an emotional drama, and investigators replayed it obsessively, concluding everything from hidden affair to coordinated messaging strategy to this is the pilot episode of a political reality show. And then someone dug up the line that broke the internet. No one will ever replace my husband, but I do see some similarities of my husband and JD Vance. At that moment, the collective reaction could be heard across social media. What similarities? Explain that slowly. As investigators kept connecting dots, the theories multiplied like they were being bred in a lab. Clips of Usha Vance without a wedding ring became evidence. Side glances became confessions. Awkward smiles became motives. Even the way JD Vance adjusted his mic on stage turned into a potential clue. People weren't just watching a scandal, they were binge investigating it like a true crime series, where every moment suddenly made too much sense. And the suspense only grew when the dots actually started lining up. The timing of the hug, the emotional slip-ups, the missing ring, the cold stage interactions, the suspiciously perfect perfect PR statements, all forming a pattern so dramatic that even Hollywood would have said, "Tone it down, it's too obvious." By the time the internet finished connecting everything, the story no longer felt like political gossip. It felt like a live investigation with the entire country acting as detectives, waiting for the next plot twist like a season finale cliffhanger. The timeline gets messy, and the math stops mathing. The timeline chaos began the moment Erika Kirk casually mentioned being 8 weeks pregnant, triggering the internet to collectively transform into forensic accountants armed with calculators, TikTok filters, and a level of mathematical aggression no scandal had ever seen before. Once people realized Charlie Kirk had passed away 10 weeks earlier, the numbers began fighting each other like they were in a custody battle, Reddit threads turned into algebra classrooms, TikTok creators made timeline charts with sparkly fonts, and YouTube investigators were drawing crime scene arrows between dates like they were explaining who stole the Declaration of Independence. The hug, the interviews, the vague comments about pregnancy, suddenly all of it looked like evidence. And every time someone tried to justify the timeline, the math pushed back harder. Nope. Try again. It wasn't just a discrepancy, it was a scandal-shaped Sudoku puzzle where none of the numbers wanted to sit next to each other. By the time the internet finished dissecting the timeline, the pregnancy claim had gone from an emotional revelation to a full-blown statistical thriller that even NASA wouldn't attempt to calculate. People were comparing screenshots, analyzing emotional interviews, syncing public appearances to ovulation charts, and even bringing in timeline experts who probably weren't experts at anything except drama. And every new piece of evidence only made the math get weirder, louder, and more disrespectful. Nothing aligned, nothing overlapped, nothing made sense. It turned the entire scandal from a messy love triangle into a biological escape room where the clues contradicted each other. And the suspense only grew because if the timeline is wrong, then someone in this story isn't just bending the truth, someone is folding it, twisting it, origamiing it into a shape no one recognizes. Usha Vance enters, and the energy shifts. Everything changed the moment Usha Vance finally entered the scandal. Up until then, the drama was bouncing between Erika Kirk and JD Vance like a ping pong match played by two emotionally unstable contestants. But when Usha Vance stepped into the narrative, quietly, calmly, ringlessly, the entire energy rearranged itself like it had been waiting for the real main character to show up. The missing wedding ring was the first sign, and the internet caught it faster than it catches a Kardashian Photoshop slip. Publicists tried to explain it away with mom life chaos, but then Usha Vance showed up at a high-profile event with Melania Trump still ring-free, and that excuse fell apart like a dollar store lawn chair. Add the icy body language, the stiff appearances, and the footage of JD Vance publicly begging for a good Christian wife, and suddenly this scandal wasn't just messy, it was starting to look like a full-blown marital documentary filmed in real time. And that's why the second Erika Kirk claimed in her lawsuit that Usha Vance allegedly threatened her, the internet didn't blink. The internet leaned in, because nothing about Usha Vance felt accidental. The silence felt heavy. The missing ring felt intentional. The distance on stage felt like a message written in capital letters. Online investigators didn't say, "There's no way Usha would do that." They said, "Let's examine the evidence." In a scandal filled with loud characters, Usha Vance became the quiet storm, the kind of person who doesn't need to raise her voice to shift the entire narrative. And as her presence grew more intense, the suspense skyrocketed, turning every clip, every photo, every subtle glance into potential proof. The energy didn't just shift, it transformed. Because once Usha Vance stepped into the plot, the story stopped feeling like gossip and started feeling like political noir, with a silent woman in the center who might know more than anyone else, and might be the one person the entire scandal is secretly afraid of. The pressure builds, and Erika Kirk snaps back. The pressure around Erika Kirk reached a boiling point the moment the lawsuit landed, and the two people she expected to speak, JD Vance and Usha Vance, responded with complete radio silence. Suddenly, Erika Kirk wasn't just the center of attention. She was the only one getting grilled while the others were hiding behind PR walls. Clips of Erika Kirk were slowed down, analyzed, critiqued, and overinterpreted like she was auditioning for a role she didn't want, with JD Vance dodging her calls and Usha Vance giving the coldest body language in the political universe. Erika Kirk found herself standing alone in a scandal she believed would protect her, not devour her. And that loneliness mixed with fury, confusion, and panic. Insiders say Erika Kirk tried privately pushing for a paternity test, hoping JD Vance would step in and salvage the narrative. Instead, the silence kept punching holes in her patience until something finally snapped. That breaking point came fast, and it came loud. Erika Kirk pivoted from subtle hints to full-blown online reactions, cryptic messages, emotional on-camera moments, and bold declarations about lies, betrayal, and unseen forces working against her. The shift was so dramatic, it felt like watching a character snap in a psychological thriller. Tears one minute, defiance the next, and then a sudden lawsuit that dragged the entire scandal into the legal spotlight. Every move Erika Kirk made from that moment felt fueled by a cocktail of anger, fear, and desperation. The type of energy that creates iconic TV moments but disastrous real-world consequences. And as Erika Kirk fought harder, louder, and more chaotically, the entire story transformed from gossip into a high-stakes crisis where every reaction mattered, every silence was suspicious, and every step pushed the situation toward a point of no return. Now the question everyone is asking. By the time the scandal hit its boiling point, the entire internet was laser-focused on one question: who is telling the truth, and who is running from it? The deeper people dug, the more every detail felt like a plot twist from a prestige drama series. Erika Kirk was making emotional declarations, filing lawsuits, dropping vague clues, and insisting there was more going on beneath the surface. JD Vance was disappearing behind political talking points, dodging the public eye like he owed it money, and refusing to answer the one question the whole country was screaming at him. Meanwhile, Usha Vance was giving silent, lethal energy. Ring off, eyes cold, posture stiff, the kind of quiet that feels less like grief and more like strategy. The contradictions, the tension, the awkward public appearances, all of it created a storm of suspicion so intense that people started treating every clip, every glance, every sentence like evidence from a crime scene. Suddenly, the question wasn't whether something happened, it was how many things happened and who's covering what. And the suspense only grew when the silence got louder. Not one of the three central figures stepped forward with a clean, confident explanation, and that vacuum turned the entire internet into investigators who refused to blink. Comment sections became interrogation rooms, TikTok became the FBI, Reddit became NASA, and YouTube became the courtroom where everyone pleaded their case. Every time a new inconsistency surfaced, the silence grew heavier, thicker, more suspicious. It didn't matter which theory people believed, whether Erika Kirk was exposing a truth, JD Vance was hiding a landmine, or Usha Vance was protecting her family, because the silence started to feel like the only thing everyone could agree on. Nobody trusted it, nobody liked it, and nobody believed it was accidental. By then, the question wasn't just what happened, it was what happens next, because the only thing more terrifying than a scandal is a scandal with three people who refuse to speak, and a public that refuses to stop digging until the truth cracks open. So now I need to know, is Erika Kirk telling the truth about the threat? Is JD Vance hiding something, or is Usha Vance the only person in this story thinking clearly? Drop your theories below, because this entire scandal just went from rumor to court case, and the next twist could drop any minute. Make sure you like, comment, share, and subscribe so you don't miss the next chapter of the wildest political celebrity saga of the year. This one is far from over. See you in the next one.